Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of Sports Special. And welcome to John Forbes, our sports expert.
Hello, Eric, and good afternoon to all our sports fans.
Well, John, which sport are you going to talk about today?
Today, I'd like to talk about rugby.
Fantastic! I'm a real rugby fan. I think it's a really exciting sport. John, a question. Where did rugby start?
Well, you know, Rugby is a town in England near Birmingham.
Yes?
There's a famous school there called Rugby School. It's one of the oldest schools in England. It opened in 1567. Anyway, boys at this school started the game.
Really? And where is rugby played today?
It's played all around the world, but there are 8 main countries. These are Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, France, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. And it's becoming more popular today in Italy and Argentina.
Who plays rugby?
Mainly men, but there are more and more women's teams.
Really? Women? That's a surprise.
That's right. There are more than 400 women's teams in England today.
I see. John, can you explain to our viewers how to play rugby?
Of course. Remember, rugby is very different from soccer. The ball's oval like an egg. There are 15 players in a team and the players can carry the ball. In fact, the aim is to run fast with the ball in your hands.
And what about a tackle? What's that?
To stop a player of the opponent's team running with the ball, you tackle him. You catch his legs and pull him to the ground.
That sounds dangerous.
Yes, it can be. There are lots of injuries in rugby. It's a very physical game.
And how do you score?
Well, you run with the ball and put it down on the ground at the opponent's end of the pitch. Of course, your opponents do everything they can to stop you from reaching their end of the pitch. You score a try if you cross the try line and put the ball down on the ground. You can also score points by kicking the ball between the 2 goalposts. The goalposts are very high. If you do this, you score a goal.
So, there are tries and there are goals.
That's right.
Just one more question. What are scrums?
Scrums are special to rugby. Players from the 2 sides push against each other to try to get the ball.
Scrums sound dangerous too.
Yes, they can be dangerous, but it's fun. You know, I used to play rugby.
Really?
Yes, but I injured my shoulder and had to stop. I just watch now. Well, I sometimes watch a game on Saturday afternoons. How about coming along?
Sure.
How about next weekend?
Great. Okay. Thank you, John. Goodbye. And goodbye to all our sports fans. See you next week for another edition of Sports Special. So, like in football, the group of players that play rugby together is called a team. In rugby, it's called a rugby team, and there are 15 players in a team. The players are called rugby players. Where do they play? On a rugby pitch. We also say a football pitch, which is where football players play football, and a cricket pitch, where cricket players play cricket. When we go to watch a rugby match, we go to a rugby ground. Well, as John said, rugby can be dangerous. In fact, there are lots of injuries in rugby. An injury is when you hurt or damage a part of the body. If a player has a serious injury, then he cannot play. To injure is a regular verb. For example, if you break your arm, you say, I injured my arm. Why is rugby so dangerous? Well, it's a very physical sport. This means you use your body a lot, and there is a lot of contact with the other players. When a player tackles, he stops a player from the other team by pulling him to the ground. This is called a tackle. To tackle is the verb. The aim of a tackle is to get the ball. You can tackle in football too, but you can only use your feet to get the ball. In rugby, you use your whole body. What about a scrum? This is a term specific to rugby. A scrum is when all the players push against each other to get the ball. As John explained, in rugby, there are two different ways of scoring. To score means to win a point for your team. You score a try when the ball touches the ground. You score a goal when you kick the ball between the two goal posts. Well, sports fans, that's all we have time for today. See you next time.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of the Travel Programme. And of course, welcome to Christine Oteng, our travel expert.
Hello, Lucy.
Well, Christine, do you know that one of the main causes of stress in the West is air travel, according to research from the University of Illinois in the USA?
You know, that doesn't surprise me. Air travel can be a very stressful experience. It seems that a lot of people start to feel nervous in the travel agency when they're buying the ticket or when they're buying the ticket online at home.
Really? Well, why don't we give our viewers some advice on how to reduce that stress and enjoy air travel more?
Sure. Just follow a few simple rules and you'll fly without any stress at all. The first rule, don't arrive at the airport late.
Oops, I always arrive late.
That's not a good idea. For a start, if you arrive at the airport early, you have plenty of time to check in. You can go straight through passport control and the security check. Then you have plenty of time to relax. You can do some shopping, have a drink, read a magazine or a book, all stress-free without worrying about missing the flight.
You're right, Christine. It's important to arrive at the airport with plenty of time to spare. And what else can I do to make air travel less stressful?
Well, another cause of stress is the amount of luggage that we take with us. We always take too much. Listen, don't take more than 20 kilos and only take one suitcase. Check the weight before you leave home and relax at the check-in. There's no need now to worry about excess baggage charges.
It's always relaxing to save money.
Definitely. And one last thing on the topic of luggage.
Yes?
Hand luggage. Take one small bag and don't put too much in it. Remember, you'll have to carry this around the airport.
Good advice. You know, many people have a fear of flying. These people become nervous when the plane takes off and lands.
Of course, I understand that people may feel nervous at these moments. They should remember that flying is the safest way to travel. So, relax and enjoy the flight.
And you shouldn't look out the windows too much.
Why not? Clouds are relaxing. But if you do feel nervous, you could try taking a tranquilizer. If you have a real fear of flying, they can help you relax.
Don't take too many, though.
Of course not. And try closing your eyes as the plane takes off and lands. Think of the beautiful place you're going to or the wonderful holiday you just had.
Well, how to enjoy stress-free air travel. Don't arrive at the airport late. Don't take too much luggage. After passport control and the security check, relax with a drink and something interesting to read. Or perhaps do some shopping. And once you're on the plane, remember that flying is the safest way to travel. So thanks, Christine, for this very useful advice, and goodbye.
Goodbye, Lucy, and safe travelling.
See you soon with another edition of the Travel Programme. Goodbye. Well, I certainly didn't know that air travel could cause so much stress. Air travel is the general expression for everything to do with flying. So the stress can even start when people buy their tickets at the travel agency or online. The travel agency is the place where you book a holiday or buy an air ticket. Online means you buy the ticket on the internet and you pay by credit card. To avoid stress, you should arrive at the airport with plenty of time to spare. To have plenty of time to spare means you have lots of time to relax. Notice how we say arrive at the airport, and relax is a verb. So you should arrive at the airport early so you can relax before the flight. If you arrive at the airport late, you could miss the flight. To miss the flight means you can't get on the plane and it leaves without you. Before you can get on the plane, you have to go through passport control. This is where you show your passport to an official. You have to go through the security check. This is where you put your hand luggage into the X-ray machine. Hand luggage is the bag you take on the plane with you. Luggage is the general word for suitcases and bags. A suitcase is a kind of bag where you put your clothes and shoes. Now, some people have a fear of flying. This means they're afraid of flying and they get nervous when the plane takes off and lands. When the plane takes off, it leaves the ground. And when a plane lands, it touches the ground again. So remember, flying is the safest way to travel. See you soon.